So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around. I want to address the 600-pound gorilla in the room. Yes, I am not Howard Baer. As Marty said, I'm Michelle Devane. I'm not an amalgamation of AI or some sort of mid-journey mistake, okay? I am Michelle Devane. I'm really just sort of here to have a conversation and do an introduction to Energy Glass. So, Gary, please, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you, Gary, so much. So for those of you that are out in Zoom land, you've now been able to see the video, and those of you that are in the room, there's a copy of the video actually in your packet, and then there are more informational sheets inside the packet as well, and a charger and a card so that you can stay in touch with us. So I want to sort of start by asking us to sort of just take a look out the window here and see what is the one thing that we all see. It is an incredible amount of glass, right? So understanding that this glass is an energy producing glass, it is patented as the only optically clear glass, architectural glass that's on the market. So that means its applications include buildings, greenhouses, any commercial structure, stadiums, and virtually any structure using glass. And later on, we're going to hear from John about including boats. Okay, so really kind of exciting in that way. When you're sitting here and you're looking out at this glass that we see, one thing that's not apparent that becomes a reality is that now each one of these buildings can produce its own energy had it had energy glass installed. And let's just think about that for a moment. What that means is each one of these buildings becomes its own power producing entity. So you're not talking about transmitting energy from far away and taking up arable land and solar farms. We're not talking about windmills that destruct and disrupt birds. We're talking about each one of these buildings being able to produce energy. And I want to be really clear when I say about producing energy. I mean that this glass that we produce can produce energy from the sunlight, from diffused light, from reflected light. So that means that it's a continuous loop that's able to happen, right? So these lights that we have here that are above us, our patented technology can capture that energy, send it to the frame, and then depending on where you are, send it back into the building, send it back into the grid, right? So that's a really exciting concept that we now have the ability in our cities to generate energy. But think about when we are in the world, in different places in the world where having energy would be difficult, but those structures now in the form of greenhouses, other buildings can now be self-sufficient, okay? So this means that we have the capacity to impact anywhere in the world, right? So that means in our cities, that means in our mountainous regions, that means in our desert climes, we have actually the ability to create energy that is environmentally sustainable, that is environmentally friendly wherever we are. EG is simply a replacement for standard glass. Our energy glass solar is simply a replacement for standard glass. And it's not a costly addition. So we're not talking about transmission. We're talking about replacing glass. And you can sort of see behind me here that, oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't say that. I'm sorry, excuse me. Saxon Capital Group, acquired the exclusive worldwide rights to energy glass for anything architectural.
So the name?
Saxon,
Saxon.
SAXON Capital Group. Again, we have an agreement with them, and they're the manufacturer to produce it exclusively for us.
Listen, when I type the symbol into Fidelity, it comes up as G-Tech Industries.
Did you?
I typed SCGX. It comes up as G-Tech Industries.
I don't know what that
I
is.
think that was the shell, I think that was the shell that went into.
Yeah, that was, it was a reverse merger
It was a reverse merger.
A reverse merge
into a shell, yeah.
To a
into
shell.
a shell.
I'm sorry, Saxon has the rights to manufacture or commercial?
Yes, for commercial.
And their name is in the
Manufacture or
news,
sell?
but
Or
the
both?
name of the company is G Industry. I don't get this.
It's a reverse merger, so it was,
Reverse
that's what it was
merger?
called before, and they'll change the name eventually.
Correct.
They probably have a shell.
Correct.
It was a,
I'm
it
sorry,
was
I
a
didn't
publicly
know.
traded shell
They have
that,
the right to manufacture
This is a-
or the right to manufacture and distribute.
over the counter? Not, it is not, okay, so it's not.
We have the right to manufacture, and also we can sell and distribute it, because basically,
Saxon, I mean,
correct. So
that slice that they have.
yes, that's their slice.
Okay.
Yes,
So that's the company you did the reverse merger into?
yes, yes,
So with the shell company that you reversed into, that was public, okay.
Correct.
So you bought the shell.
correct. We, if I understand correctly, we are most of the company. So the manufacturer is most of the company. So when all of the financial things are finished, the company will be owned by the manufacturing company will be owned by Saxon.
What's the symbol again?
SCGX with a
SCGX.
market cap of 636 million.
Yeah, that's typical of a penny stock. That's where you are, probably.
It's a $14 stock.
It's 14?
Yes.
With that many shares, I think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Question on the float.
I'd like to address one other sort of 600-pound gorilla in the room. There are several electricity producing glass products have come to market recently. I won't say any of them, as some of them I understand are curse words, but that have failed in the market or were attempting to come to the market. But I do want to address something that's very integral. One of the reasons that they failed spectacularly is because they were scientists that were producing a product. However, what makes us very different is that we have a 25-year history producing glass, manufacturing glass in the marketplace. So this is for us a new product. It is not that we are new to the industry. So it means that we have over 200 products that are in the marketplace. This is yet one, right? And we have our glass in Tiffany's, we have our glass in Marriott's, we have our glass in some international locations in Taiwan. So the other reason that they failed spectacularly was because not having the experience of being a glass manufacturer of 25 years to know that there are certifications that need to be in place. Not being a manufacturer of glass and not knowing that you have to account for installation, you have to account for framing in order to have longevity. So again, we have more than 200 products that are in the marketplace, so we're not new to the marketplace. It also means that we've gone through extensive testing. So we have in the Sears Tower on, I think, 6 or 7 floors, is that right? 6 or 7 floors, we have our glass in place. And so that's a 12-year test that's been going on, I believe. And we've been very successful. And we have also, as well, outside of vindication of the longevity by PPG. So just sort of going back a little bit, I want to make sure that we're very clear and we understand that the technology that is patented is related to the nanotechnology. So our glass, think of it, sometimes we like to say that it is maybe saran wrap between 2 pieces of glass. And so that saran wrap is that part that is our part that is patented. And that it's optically clear. And this is an incredible distinction because on the market, we are literally the world market. We're the only optically clear patented energy generating glass on the market. So there are other glasses that have frit that are shaded that generate electricity. However, we're the only one in the world that is patented, and we defend it. We have actually defended it. Now, these are really interesting points, but for a builder, that means that this energy producing glass qualifies them for 30% ITC. Now think about that. So that means that when they are producing their building and they're able to save 30%, I want to be very clear. They're able to save it on the glass, on the framing, they're able to save it even on some of their development fees. So this makes it super attractive to them. And then of course, they can get accelerated depreciation. By using this glass, they're able to check off some ESG boxes as well. By using this glass, they're able to actually improve and impact their bottom line. So it means that they're qualified for C-PACE financing. And I know C-PACE is not yet here quite developed in New York, but in other states, and that'd be about 38 or 39 of them.
But California?
In California. 38 of them are qualified for C-PACE financing, right? So this is very, very impactful for them.
So what you're doing really is taking a depreciable asset and turning it into a revenue stream.
100%, and I want to be really clear. We're talking about ITCs in the beginning, then we're talking about PTCs 10 years down the road, right? So this is extremely, extremely attractive. And of course, C-PACE financing makes it equally attractive because of the way that the program works and that they don't have to have in C-PACE financing, they do not have to have a down payment. They don't have to collateralize the loan, and it has its percentage points cheaper.
What are the revenues this year? What are the revenues this year?
So I have been advised that for those types of conversations, we can have them privately.
I see.
I'm gonna take a guess, they already have 250 glass products, they're manufacturing glass already, which is why you're looking at a company that sounds like a startup, but probably has
Well, the filing with the SEC says no revenues. That's why I'm asking.
no revenues. Okay, well, I'll take back everything I just said.
The merger happened.
A quick, just
Yes.
we get technical.
Yep.
If you just put the energy production alongside your average solar cell, how do they compare?
So quick answer is,
Just a quick answer.
sure. So we produce roughly between 3 and 5 kilowatts per square foot per hour. So that means that the answer to that is, depending on where it is on next to other buildings, is something like a third.
Apples to apples.
Apples to
Put
apples.
one next to the other,
One, something like 1/3.
a third.
A third.
That's my answer.
Oh, there, yes, it is,
How
absolutely.
about the cost compared to regular glass?
It is comparable to regular glass, yes. So different glasses has a different costs, but yes, in each of the 200 glasses we have, it is very comparable. However, it becomes cheaper to the builder because there's no sales tax in most of the states, right? So there's, that's percentage points cheaper. You're allowed to do the C-PACE, that makes it incredibly cheaper. You're allowed to write off 30% of installation, cost for labor, all of this, so it becomes a lot cheaper. So if I could compare an apple to an apple, then you're talking about whatever regular glass is, you're looking at maybe 40% ballpark cheaper. So that's the closest I can get to compare an apple
Actually,
to
the
an
answer is
apple.
on your literature.
That's an example, yes. And what you'll see there is 30%, they gave an example, that's for being, for a building that is in Florida, and you'll see that 9%. So 30 plus 9 is roughly 40%, so that's,
You know, I guess the question becomes how this compares to international, if you go international, not just domestic.
right. So in international markets, like for example, in Canada, they have the same tax credit system, they call it something different. Thank you so much, 5 minutes. So they have the same. So in Europe, there are other tax credits, there are other systems. So yes, this is why it can be impactful on the world. Also, I want to mention, since we're down to about 5 minutes, that my colleague Victor here is an expert in greenhouse technology. And so we have a test that we're doing in Almeria, Spain at this time. Almeria, Spain is an area of Spain that's about twice the size of Rhode Island. And in that space, right now we're doing a 4-month test, Victor. 4-month test in which they're replacing all of their plastics with using our technology with plexiglass. And that area produces about 4 million tons of produce annually. And so it's a very large project that should ensue. Or actually we're, as I said, in the middle of the testing. And so those are the real world applications, and we're able to be anywhere in the world, generate electricity. You can then bring in water, and then you can have a closed system that can produce and feed the world. So when we say it can feed millions, that's actually not hyperbole. We actually have the capacity. So in the last few moments of time, I want to leave you with 3 really important points. What's the opportunity? What's our ask? We're asking for about 15 million to expand our manufacturing production facility in Florida. We have another opportunity, as we've heard from others, that there's growth in Arizona. So we are looking at a $35 million raise to build a production facility from the ground up. And the last part, if you visit us on our website, we're looking for very interesting projects in which we can partner, because what we do is begin, as a builder begins their process of building, we like to be with them at the seat of the table, because even though our glass is installed much like regular glass, because we're sending the energy from the glass to the frame and we have to have some wiring, we need to be there at the beginning when you're at the table and you're talking and you're going for permitting. The other thing is that when we join you at the table at the beginning, often your permitting is faster.
And you have some installations, prototypes, whatever, or not?
So we do have some installations, and I mentioned them. There was a Marriott, a Tiffany's, and also no worries, in a building
I know there's a
in
piece in
Taiwan.
Chicago, but I didn't mean
Correct.
that. I meant like a house.
So no, we're not. We're looking to get into residential, not at this time. We're looking for commercial. So we're looking for active projects and partners.
Is there like a whole building that has this?
A whole building
Like
that
you've already done one?
we do not have a whole
Okay.
building that we have
Just
done.
asking. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no. I mean, I'm just answering.
If every window in this building had one of your panes, would it power the entire building?
It would depend on how much energy the building uses. So not to be flippant, but just to say that it really depends. Those are dynamics that we would have to calculate. But we welcome, if there is a building that we could possibly do that for, to give you that calculation. We are positioned to help you with that.
Is there, I'm looking at whatever financials, they're not here, it looks like you're losing about 48 million a year or something to that effect.
How'd you
Is,
get
you know,
those?
you're burning through it, where's the capital coming from other than you're issuing money? You're issuing stocks to generate capital, I don't have a cash flow statement, so.
So it's not an answer that I have.
Okay.
So being transparent is not an answer.
No, that's
I
fine,
have.
that's fine, I just.
Why commercial versus residential?
Because commercial is in one space at one time, you're generating, and also generally commercial is fixed. And the way the system works, the glass is fixed. So it's not a sliding glass door, it's not a window door.
Yep.
And in residential, you have many of those. And so right now, the technology works excellently well with a fixed opera because we send it to the frame.
A lot of the incentives are really for residential though, but state by state, don't get into that now
Yeah.
too far.
Michelle, I had the pleasure of speaking to you outside based on my 10 years of working with Con Edison and of a lot of technology related to the smart glass. We'll follow up. What's the best way for us to follow up? Is there an email or?
Yes, so in each packet is a card.
Okay.
That's the best way. The second best way is on this site, there is a contact page.
Okay,
So that would be the best way.
great. Thank you
And I'm
very much.
here and I have a card and that while we're in the space, I'd love to connect.
And just for reference, you have like a bunch of data, papers, whatever set you can send out, NDAs or not, whatever, is it there?
You can request it there,
I'm
yes.
saying you have it.
Yes, we have it.
I'm not asking
Yes.
for you right now. I'm
Yes,
asking what you have.
yes,
No
that is the answer, yes. Marty, thank you so much.
Thank you. This is great, and I think it's very forward-looking, and it fits into, this, the concern that we have about ESG, so that's great.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you.